Shalom, it's your brothers from T.O.Z, Trumpets of Zion. And I give all praise to the Most High through His Son. Okay, I'm your brother Makazah, and on with me,
Karash Judah.
Okay, brother Karash Levi also. I don't know if you can hear it. But yeah, so what we getting into is, so everybody get your popcorn ready. Ready, because this is going to be a good, not necessarily entertainment, the seriousness of it, but we're going into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 37 verse, and showing and proving, how we are, Israelites without a shadow of a doubt. Because you got, whether you got Edomites, so-called white people, or any other nation that deny us being, saying that this is our heritage, you also have men like, the so-called Latino-only doctrine, that want to call us Canaanites and say we don't fit the curses, which, again, everything that's going to be brought out here is matches with what the scriptures say. Okay, the scriptures say, can you get the scripture real quick? Deuteronomy 28:37. Because, yeah, just like I said in the other video with that other clown, Mexica, he talking about the scriptures aren't about skin color, and then he quotes James 1:1. And I demolished that, you know what I'm saying? And he's saying that, yeah, James 1:1, as if Latinos, modern day Latinos, are scattered abroad in all nations. No. So likewise, we're oppressed racially in all nations. You won't really see no Mexican being oppressed in Africa or Europe, you know what I'm saying, like the Negro is. That's why there's a damn Black Lives Matter movement to the four corners of the earth. Okay, so that, and we're gonna further show that. All right, so yeah, get that out.
Deuteronomy 28:37.
Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword of all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Yeah, so will be a proverb and a byword, where the Most High will lead us. Cause so yeah, that's what has happened to us. We're scattered scattered in captivity, like the scriptures say. So automatically that shows you Negroes are Israel. But even before that, just through the history and the facts, again, the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. When you look at this Syrian captivity and the Babylonian captivity, both of them Negroes. Some got locks in their hair. I mean, you clearly see the features of both kingdoms. Okay, so Israel was scattered abroad, all right, and they would be proverbs and bywords, in the four corners of the earth. All right, so matter of fact, let me start. I'm gonna play this real quick because I had this one brother, Job Issachar. He been in the inbox. He want to debate, but I'm gonna play two videos before I get into, the nitty gritty of everything.
So we speak European language. We speak European language. We have a European religion. We have a European culture. We eat European food, and we have a predominantly European genetic makeup. We are taught by them in public schools that we are victims of Europeans and that we were oppressed and ransacked by the Spaniards. And it's always funny for me to see, a guy that's my height, sometimes with a lighter skin tone than me and a mustache and hazel eyes, and his last name is Sanchez, telling me about how the Spaniards stole from him, right?
Yeah. So you hear what he said? because shown countless who the real Indians were. The real Indians was classified as Negroes. So yeah, the outdated history that is being pushed. Oh yeah, like the you guys were oppressed by the Spaniards, and then they brought African slaves, and now it's the black and brown unity. I was analyzing the complexion of a lot of Hispanics, and I've been seeing Asians, Japhet, and I'm like, y'all both the same damn complexion. So it's like, do you call Asians brown? You know what I'm saying? Y'all call them yellow. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't call them brown, but y'all have the same damn near complexion. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like how y'all talking about black and brown when we're the real brown people. Even the guy, what's his name, Northern Kingdom Prophet, talking about copper color. When again, the copper color is us. Yeah, look at your penny. Okay, that's what the Indians was classified as, and we'll do that. Yeah, because I wanted to bring that out with the Canaanite lesson, because this is mainly just going into Deuteronomy 28 verse 37. But so and like I was saying, we're oppressed by all nations. So whatever country we're in, the people of that country we're oppressed by. Because so it's not just Esau. Like here is predominantly Esau and some of the other nations that oppress us. You know what I'm saying? But if you go to Central South America, it's gonna be Esau, but it's gonna be these mestizos and mongoloids that are racist. Which I'm gonna show that. Then you show India. Places like what is it? Like Australia. You know what I'm saying? It's Asia, or like China, Japan. Like you go to those places, they're oppressing Negroes over there. So whatever nation we're in, those particular people are the ones oppressing us. All right, so.
But I guess they grind it into their mind so much that they start losing focus of who they really are, and they don't understand that they are actually the descendants of the. Though we speak.
So he, I cut off, but he was. You can clearly say he was about to say the conquistadors. I'm trying to find the full lecture, but yeah, you can see him say.
They don't understand that they are actually the descendants of the. Though we speak.
Yeah, so he's gonna say the conquistadors. You can see the screen. Okay. All right. So earlier I watched folk. They had put up something about DNA, and I'm just starting with these two kind of. So we just watched that video, and the guy is clearly saying that the people that's claiming to be, indigenous of this land or whatever, they're descended of the conquistadors, the Spaniards, acting as if. It's just like when you got $5 Indians acting like the land was stolen from them. They damn pale, devils lying, talking about they're, indigenous to this land. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. So this guy right here, he brought out some truth, and just let him speak for himself.
Alrighty, man.
So I'm gonna just go through, get to the point.
Alrighty, man. Peace and blessings to Israel. So I've been talking to this brother.
So I, did stupid shit. I'm from that, and I knew somebody that went there. So I was like, listen, my father's Puerto Rican, my mom is white. Is there a chance that I could go? And he was like, yeah. So I went in there, and I was going there for probably a year or so to a year and a half. And then after a while, I just stopped going. It was on my own, I was young, so I, did stupid shit. But that was, and then after that, I stayed cool with some camp. Like I talked to dudes from other camps.
Hold on.
I had another group of 12 tribes camp, and they used to have an Israelite show on there. There was the Lions Den by ISUPK, and there was another one with Nathaniel's Nathaniel's group, before they became what they are now, United Israelites in Christ.
Yeah.
They had another group called the 12 Tribes camp. So I started getting on from that, and I knew somebody that went there. So I was like, listen, my father's Puerto Rican, my mom is white. Is there a chance that I could go? And he was like, yeah. So I went in there, and I was going there for probably a year and a half, a year or so to a year and a half. And then after a while, I just stopped going. It was on my own, I was young, so I, did stupid shit. But that was, and then after that, I stayed cool with some camp. Like I talked to do some other camps to, try to stay in the know of stuff because there were so many new ideologies coming. There was the all Negro Israelite camp. There was the all Latino Israelite camp. There was some that was saying Japheth was the white man. So it was new, it was new to me from what I was taught. So I was like, you know what? Let me just talk to everyone and get a better understanding.
Right. So are you still connected to the movement? And if so, is there some things you disagree with? And if so, if you do disagree with some things, what is some ways you think you can improve?
I'm not personally connected with the movement no more. I don't believe I'm an Israelite. I'm gonna tell y'all flat out. I'm gonna either say y'all can call me an Edomite or a Hamite or whatever. That's fine. But I think the reality is the chart is not the be all end all. That chart got to be either redid or done away with for now. It has to be restudied. Big thing is that my father's Puerto Rican. Not all Hispanics and Native Americans are Israelites. That's my personal opinion. Due to DNA.
Okay, and yeah, so he bringing it out. Okay, and the DNA which he goes in a lot about the DNA, which there's still it's still kind of research that has to be done, but it's like because people get it twisted when they think the DNA is gonna just say you're an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you go back to West Africa, Jews was all throughout West Africa. You know what I'm saying? So if your DNA shows up predominantly coming from West Africa, that's right there showing you an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? And also the E1B1A, which he talked about that. Which brothers have brought that out. So that's kind of the gist of what he was bringing out. But I just want to get to the parts where he was saying how they're not Israel.
Okay, so you took a DNA test, and you say your father's Puerto Rican. Now,
my father's Puerto Rican.
The mainstream. Okay, so the mainstream camps will say that's the tribe of Ephraim. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what did you conclude in that DNA test?
Well, when you do a DNA test, I think this is a lot of people don't understand. It's not only camps do it. I think a lot of like religious groups are against it. And not saying camps are religious, but are against it because they don't understand it. They see the mixture of being 50%, 80% or whatever. Another big thing, and a lot of Latinos don't know that. Even do the ancestry paperwork, you could do a census report that they have, and we'll find out that they're probably Spaniard, Jewish, North African. That's another big thing, and a lot of Latinos don't know that.
Yeah,
they believe they're either Native American.
Jewish is Jewish. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot don't understand too. That a lot of these Hethos or Hispanics were Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they funded the slave trade. What's his name? Columbus, who was a Spaniard, was quote unquote Jewish. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of stuff they don't know about.
American, Hispanic, or Spaniard or African, and there's a lot more groups that went over.
Okay, and that's why you believe that the vast majority, correct, that they're not Israel.
No, the vast majority are not. I believe if they're from the African diaspora, then yes. If they came from West Africa, Central Africa, most likely yes, they are. If not, my personal thing, if doing DNA, and I know a lot of cats, it is if you're gonna say you are what our father is, it goes by the seed. The Y chromosome is the seed. That's all it could be.
Okay. Let me. I don't know if you see the convoy, but I believe there's a question for you.
So yeah, so let me go to this one part. He says something.
Anybody following the Most High, no doubt about it. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Israel's supposed to be a light to the nation. We're here to be the standard on the earth. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot be false flagging people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know it. You have to be right up on nucleic acid. But we can't be telling people they're Israel and they're not. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, that's deception right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what the scripture speaks about. You selling your the alien. You know what I'm saying? And fast forward, now we got this Canaanite doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Not all Negroes are Canaanites. Ain't got nothing to do with no Ephraim or Judah vexing Ephraim. Exactly. Got nothing to do with that, bro.
Exactly. Because, you know, after I want to go also into that as well a little bit, because, you know, a lot of times even with the Africa thing, you know, everyone's quick to be like, it's just some hatred amongst us and Africans because, oh, they're Hamites. But even because it was something I was watching, and it's like, you know, growing up, you know, we made fun of, just like, you know, Africans, so-called Africans, they make fun of us, or they might say you Black Americans or whatever. And then, you know, we call them, we say stuff, y'all African booty scratch, you know, all that kind of stuff amongst us. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that's said. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we make fun of, we may make fun of the accent, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of some stuff that a lot of people are not bringing into it. You know, they most likely think, oh, they call it Sakata, so they Hamites. And you know what I'm saying? But then if it's like people that don't look like us, damn Spaniards calling us Mayates and all of this, all of a sudden it's a curse, and it's the brotherly, the brotherhood is against each other, the northern and the southern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's got to stop.
You got through with brothers and sisters, you know, researching. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these Hispanics and natives, they snapped and said, oh, all niggas are Canaanites. Okay, so what would a culture of the Canaanites exactly? No one has really defined that. No one has defined the culture of the Canaanites.
Well, my big issue with the Hispanic Israelite groups, or all Hispanic Israelite groups, whatever they want to claim themselves to be, is that they learned this stuff from somebody now that they're turned around and called a Canaanite. You learned it from them. That's where you got the understanding from. Now you're going to turn around and say, oh, no, you're a Canaanite because but they taught you. So now how are you going to turn your back on them after they're the ones who taught it to you?
Exactly. So,
you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I believe E1B1A is...
What advice to them?
Well, for the native, I won't give them nothing, because they threatened to kill me one time when I said they were Israelites back when I was in, when I thought I was an Israelite. They threatened to kill me. They're like, no, we're not Israelites. I was like, all right. They got mad at me.
Okay.
I was just
okay. So who told you that?
Native Americans told me that.
Okay, do you remember?
They knew the language and everything. And they would start yelling at me and telling me that, listen, we're not Israelites. They attacked me on Instagram too. They blew up my Instagram empire.
Yeah, the brother was laughing too much in the dialogue, but y'all can watch that on your own. But yeah, he said some other things in there that was good. He said some things that weren't good. You know, because he said, for instance, something about that the Polynesian, or like the whole thing with Negroes, you know, because again, the truth is coming out that a lot of the Indians were black. And, you know, some people want to say they're Ham or whatever the case is, but when you look at these Negroes and these tribes, you know, like take example, Kyrie Irving, he says he's Sioux. Or, for instance, I'll say Chris Brown, because I'm going to do a lesson on the Virginia Indians and the connection with Israel, because you had Cortland, Virginia, which it was called Jerusalem, and then you had Israel Hill. Those both were in VA, as well as Nat Turner went to Cortland or Jerusalem, as it was called. Okay, and that was the Nottoway Indians. So when you look at the Nottoway Indians real quick, you look at the Nottoway Indians, they basically look like us, African Americans, so on and so forth. So, just show them real quick. All right, so you can look and see, the Nottoway Indians right here. All right, so and I'm gonna really go into that. So Indians is classified as Negroes. And I brought out once before about how the Indians and the African slaves looked identical. The slave master couldn't tell them apart. So those are the kind of things that he was missing in it. He also was trying to say that Esau was not the white man, which I did a lesson on that, showing the coins during that time. You had the coins of like Agrippa, all of that I shown before, how they were there. Even the term Agrippa was, I believe it was Greek or Roman in origin. Okay, so you had Antipater. Okay, so Antipater, who was an Idumean, which was the father of Herod. All right, so so there's a lot of examples. The Arabs in their records call Rome Esau. The Romans, they called the Arabs, they called them Ishmael, basically. Okay, so and then the book of Joshua tells you that Esau took over Europe. So you had melanated people like the Minoans, the Etruscans. All of those people were the original people of Europe. All right, so he kind of went off with that. And then, because like I said, he was trying to say that the Negroes, and so there's a difference between, so you could tell the difference between a black, let's say like a Dravidian, you know what I'm saying, somebody from India, between an American Negro. So they knew those things. All right, but here this senator, he had called black people Aborigines. So just showing you that the term Aborigine, and then going to the topic at hand. This is the Oxford English Dictionary. You see nigger, a dark-skinned person, of sub-Saharan African origin. And then when you drop down to 3, it says a dark-skinned person of any origin in early U.S. usually with reference to American Indians. Okay, so that obviously is not talking about the Mongoloid Hollywood Indians and $5 Indians you see of today. All right, so that's why I said men will take this and make a lesson, and then they'll be like, see, not the Negro, y'all Negroes ain't, y'all Negro onlys or whatever, y'all wasn't the only ones that was called nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the white man that's calling himself an Indian today, he was classified as a Negro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So these guys is crazy. And then the term Aborigine, it like here, when you drop down, this is from the book of View in the West, or View of the Hebrews, and 9, it says, several prophetic traits of character given of the Hebrews do accurately apply to the Aborigines of America. So when you think of Aborigines, you think of, just like Malcolm X said, you don't want to be called an Aborigine. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's pertaining to blacks. All right, but so when these guys use these sources about the Indians and how they're Israelites, these things go over their heads. You know what I'm saying? Saying Aborigine, not it's a difference. All right, so that was just something I had on my Facebook. So right, let me. All right, so before I get into these videos, just let me finish this last because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say though. But I was saying that, and yeah, this thing is about the truth, because that's why, yeah, you got men thinking the 10 tribes are all modern day Hispanics, and only three tribes is Negro, just like the dummy, what's his name, Jose Vera or Vega or whatever, one of the guys that says that we're Canaan. You know what I'm saying? He says even your chart shows you we're the minority. Okay, so or we're the minority and they're the majority. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Because you men and your false doctrines and your chart. You know what I'm saying? Got them thinking that they're the main 10 tribes. You know what I'm saying? They got 9, 10 tribes to them, and yeah, we're only the 2 tribes. Okay, and then even him talking about that the Jews became darker because we mixed in with Africans. When I showed that even in Genesis 50 and 11, you see that the Israelites was compared to Egyptians, and I showed uh, in the book called Joseph and Asenath, which Asenath was the Egyptian wife of Joseph. When they met Jacob, it says that Jacob had hair like an Ethiopian. Okay, so what was that talking about? Since you want to say that they weren't black or they weren't dark skinned, whoever said they was dark, so are you guys walking around with hair like an Ethiopian? Okay, so no, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, and I showed. Matter of fact, let me see. Man, off our tribemen Ethiopia. So are y'all walking around with hair like this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Israel, we've been a melanated nation before we even was dealing with Africans. You know what I'm saying? And mixing in with them. All right, so and the point is, yeah, the Assyrian captivity was already dark skinned according to what's written on what's on the artifact. So when did we become that? And now we became recognizable. The 10 tribes became recognizable. Which even with that, there's more and deeper understanding that Assyria it was within North and West Africa. Because even some of the Eldan the Danite said a lot of the 10 tribes went down to Ethiopia. What does the scripture say? He's going to get us, Zephaniah 3 and 9, that he's going to get us out of, or he's going to get us from Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, I'll get that real quick. So, let's see. So, yeah, so it's just kind of showing you, yeah, there were a lot of influence. Even the daughter of my dispersed shall bring mine offering. Okay, so, and then when you read down here, we've been in captivity. All right, so let's see what else. All right, so it's like, yeah, so for somebody that claims to be Northern Kingdom, and you don't know this history, that shows you that you're not a scholar. You know what I'm saying? So like this guy, Job Issachar, he want to debate me. You know what I'm saying? And what I just shown with this guy right here, would you say he's wrong? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna say, oh, he don't know what he's talking about, and he seemed like he more knowledgeable than half of these dudes that Latinos that's claiming to be Israelites. You know what I'm saying? So, but Job Issachar, yeah, you got to deal with a lot of the stuff, a lot of the videos that was brought out prior. You know what I'm saying? Cutting your doctrine, showing you who the real Mexican was. You know what I'm saying? All of that. before you can even think about debating me, or T.O.Z debating folk. You know what I'm saying? They already dealt with you. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So let me go to. All right. So let's start in Latin America. All right. So, okay, because when you look at the ethnic, ethnic slurs, uh, you see, we're called, a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to touch on like stuff like ape. They call us ape, porch monkey, because some of the stuff videos I'm gonna be bringing out, it has to do with ape and monkey and stuff like that. Um, I wanted to show this other thing. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so yeah, Mayate. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, technically, yeah, the Mayate call us Mayate because yeah, the real Mayans, Maya, were black. So yeah, Mayate. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring that out because that's why I'm gonna touch into different continents. So we gonna deal with Latin America. I'm not gonna go into every single country, but because that would take a lot of time. But this might be a little long. I might have to cut it in two parts. But um, we're gonna deal with Latin America because yeah, that's the notion that um, yeah, it's just like I said, it's just people like Carnilo that are white, basically Edomites, white people that are the ones racist. Nah, it's like I said before, it's yeah, us being called Mayate and stuff is not by some white Mexican. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, like I said, it's your typical Chicano, whatever. Like the definition say. You know what I'm saying? So it's those people, yeah, your main people, and just like in these other countries, which I'm a further show. Okay, but all right, so let's get into it, man. All right, so I'm gonna go into some of these videos. Um, Matter of fact, yeah, let's start with Argentina, cause yeah, you got these guys. Um, you got these guys that got Argentina on the chart. Let me see. And these dudes, you know what I'm saying? These dudes is crazy, man, because they got Argentina on the chart and don't even know that Argentina is primarily Edomites. Okay, and they tried to exterminate the Negro population in Argentina. Okay, so yeah, you got Argentina to Chile, you know what I'm saying, as Naphtali. Okay, so let's get it.
Historically, that there are over 2 million black people in Argentina.
La gente en Argentina piensa que no hay negros y está naturalizado.
In 2002, Maria Magdalena de Madrid was detained for hours at the airport in Argentina. Her passport was suspected to be false because, quote, there are no black people in Argentina. How could this become the dominant narrative in a country where in the 18th century, a third of the population was of African origin, many cities were 30 to 40% African descent, and Afro-descendants accounted for half the population in the early 19th century? Sure, many joined the military in exchange for freedom, a tactic used by much of the white ruling classes in Latin America, died on these front lines and in crowded tenement housing, from sicknesses, perhaps shorter lives because of little pathways for livelihoods and survival after emancipation, and some left for neighboring countries. But the 19th and 20th century Blancamiento eugenics campaigns in much of Latin America opened the floodgate of European immigration, including Nazis, while limiting Asian and African immigration. This white nation myth-making was championed by white supremacist leadership, then and now. Domingo Sarmiento, the 7th president of Argentina, writing in his 1845 book that the black race, almost extinct already, except in Buenos Aires, has left its sambos and mulattoes, inhabitants of the cities. He went on to call the indigenous lazy, idle, and barbaric, and better left as fertilizer in hopes of their eventual extermination. Nevertheless, there are over 2 million Afro-descendants in Argentina of colonial background and immigrants from the Caribbean and Africa. Various Afro-Argentine groups push for visibility and justice, and since 2013, November 8th is the Day of the Afro-Argentine, commemorating the death of nurse and captain María Remedios del Valle, known as the Mother of the Nation.
Que está cambiando y sobre todo, y va a cambiar, va a cambiar porque el movimiento negro en la Argentina se está organizando y está generando, y los jóvenes y las nuevas generaciones están muy orgullosas de lo que son.
Alright, so yeah, just showing you about Argentina. So let me go here further show Argentina. Alright, so it's about...
Is your money keeping itself organized?
It's about why there's no Negroes on the soccer team in Argentina. So we established because they damn near tried to exterminate them. So like I was saying, Argentina is primarily Edomites. Okay, so how the hell is Naphtali going to be Argentina and Chile, and there is nothing but Edomites over there? You know what I'm saying? So...
organized? Or is it just...
During the 2018 World Cup, someone...
Okay, and yeah, just going into, you know, because this is racism. Racism is also, yeah, it's by being called those names, nigger, you know, all the names are called coon, spook, you know, the list goes on. But even the I would say like of just being black, you know, the characteristics of being a Negro and the stereotypes, you know, all of that come into play into that curse. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's not just, because you was called nigga. Nah, because you're called nigga. You're you know, they people clutching your purse. They think you're gonna rob. You're gonna do all of this. The bad rap of what a Negro is, and that happens in all places. You know what I'm saying? From a Negro that's in Cali to a Negro from a Negro that go into a store, a liquor store or a store, they thinking he's gonna steal something that happens there, to a Negro that's in England, he go into a store, same thing, because it's a stereotype of being a Negro. You know what I'm saying? So that all entitles to being, you know, that's why I call it the racism curse. You know what I'm saying? Because besides us just being called nigger and, you know, all of those titles, it's also like, yeah, because I wanted to bring that out. Hopefully they don't can you get Psalms real quick? Psalms 44 and 10. Hopefully they don't try to what is it called? Hopefully they don't try to copyright this, but for instance, you watch Minister Society. This the Minister Society scripture. But I'm gonna just get to the point. Hold on real quick.
I don't want any trouble. Just get. I don't want any trouble. Just get out. Stand, John. I feel sorry for you, Papa. What you say about my mom? Just get out.
What you say about my mom? That you seen the Don't Be a Menace one with Marlon Wayans, but yeah, but yeah, read that real quick, verse 10.
Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy.
All right, is that 44 and 10?
Psalm 44 and 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves.
Yeah, read 11.
Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen.
Okay, yeah, we've been scattered among the heathen. All right, so scattered from one end of the earth to the other. Go ahead.
Thou sellest thy people for naught, and doest not increase thy wealth by their price.
Yeah, go
Thou
ahead.
makest a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that round about us. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, the shaking of the head among the people.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, the Most High made us a byword among the people and a shaking of the head. Okay, because that's how we're looked at. The stereotypes, them niggas shaking their head. Esau, Asian, whatever. Even like I say, even Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Like the Morenos and all of that kind of stuff that they be saying. Like I said, Mayates. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the kind of stuff. And I got all type of comments I done seen. Through videos I done watched of what type of racist comments I've seen. You know what I'm saying? So that's the racism. You know what I'm saying? So shaking of the head among the people. So yeah, just like him saying, I feel sorry for your mother. You know what I'm saying? Shaking his head. Even though they doing wicked acts, but that happens point blank period. Even when we not stealing or we not doing anything at all. So all right, so let's go back here.
Messaged me and asked if I knew why the Argentina team had no black players. It was an interesting question, and a fact that had never even occurred to me at the time. The question piqued my interest sufficiently for me to do some research into the matter, as Argentina laboured to a 1-1 draw against Iceland in their opening game in Moscow, with Messi having a penalty saved and Javier Mascherano looking like he was running through treacle. I jotted the question down, but thought little of it for the future, since I just made little 5-minute videos orientated around the number 7 at the time. Of course, I still make videos like that, and if they are the only videos of mine that you like, then you are obviously welcome to just watch those videos. If you think that as primarily a football channel, I should not stray into areas of war, race, or geopolitics, although I don't know how anyone could attempt to discuss football history without referencing those subjects, then today's video isn't for you. Assuming those people have now gone and won't poison the comments section with their complaints, given that they received Pele in the case of Brazil have been black, and neither nation have been at the forefront and been a force on the international stage, and one of the 3 most successful nations from South America, routinely jostling for major honours alongside Uruguay and Brazil. Black footballers have been...
Yeah, and Salakia, because a lot of these videos and a lot of the racism that I'm going to be showing is also from the sport of soccer, because a lot of people and there's Jake, obviously, that play basketball overseas too. I didn't really go into that, but that's a lot more evident in soccer games, because they be throwing all type of bananas on the field, which we gonna see. But and I also want to say, because one dude, I don't know what he was, but he hit me on Instagram. And he was talking about, he said something about soccer. But point is, like Brazil, like for instance, even because, like I said, I played before, and you got Hispanics that act as if like you can't play, but yet Brazil, if it wasn't for Ronaldinho, matter of fact,
Pele.
Yeah, Pele. Even though, Ronaldinho, he got that kind of, also, he got that, like, indigenous look to him. But most of these guys look like his moms. Like, that's his moms. So, everyone want to like Ronaldinho. Well, his mom is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? So, and Pop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had Ronald, Robinho. He's another one. A lot of these guys is the reason why Brazil was winning. You got Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. All of these dudes is the reason why you had or why they won. You know what I'm saying? So it's like most of these countries where Jake is excelling in Latin America, like Colombia, all these places have Negroes on the team, and they the ones scoring the goals and doing all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I hate when these dudes be trying to act like Negroes can't play. You know what I'm saying? So that's a side note.
Yeah, wasn't Jake though.
How would you say?
So that haircut he had wasn't Jake
Yeah,
though.
I know. He was tripping. Like even like Neymar, he like mixed, but a lot of them dudes is lost. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to perm their hair like this right here. Like Neymar, he Jake, but he be trying to act like, you know, a lot of them guys be trying to be whitewashed. So sometimes he'll switch back and he'll be like this. You know, let me see what other he had. I think right now he doing this right now. But yeah, so a lot of them dudes be cooning.
What are those?
Been at the forefront of Uruguay and Brazil's success on the international stage. Both nations' greatest ever players, Jose Andrade in the case of Uruguay and Pelé in the case of Brazil, have been black, and neither nation have won world football's most prestigious trophy, the World Cup, without a black player in their team. Despite bordering both nations and having had distinctly similar pasts in so many respects, the same cannot be said for Argentina. Argentina's two crowning moments, their two world titles, kidnapped and shipped to the Americas, arrived in Argentina via the Rio de la Plata in 1580, colony in the Americas. Now identify footballers that represent Argentina and Brazil. Only 149,000.
Is your money not sure what to do with itself?
493 people in Argentina identify themselves as being Afro-Argentine, which is just 0.37% of the nation's overall population. Meanwhile, 15 million Brazilians, equivalent to 7.6% of the population, identify themselves as being black, and over 50% of Brazilians now identify as being black or mixed race. You may be thinking, well, that's that cleared up then. That was a short video with an easy explanation. But I'm afraid we can't just leave it at that. Whilst the overall demographics do explain the discrepancies in the makeup of Argentina's national football team, it does not explain the reason for such vastly different demographics in the first place. Whilst Argentina, like all nations, does have some unique and distinguishing features, its history is largely typical of a European colony in the Americas. Europeans arrived, they looked to enslave the indigenous population but ended up wiping them out through epidemics and infectious diseases, and instead had to import slaves from sub-Saharan Africa. The first slaves arrived in Argentina via the...
And again, those indigenous was Negro.
Rio de la Plata in 1587, and once Buenos Aires began allowing English slave traders to import slaves via the Argentine capital, Argentina's slave trade boomed. I think it's worth emphasizing the sheer number of slaves that arrived in South America during the years of the Atlantic slave trade. Over 90% of all slaves who were kidnapped and shipped to the Americas ended up in either South America or the Caribbean. Just 6% ended up in North America, and Argentina was among the chief importers. The majority of Afro-Argentine slaves originated from Angola and the Congo, and for almost 100 years, slaves accounted for 70% of the total value of all imports that arrived at the port of Buenos Aires. There are no precise figures definitively showing the number of slaves that were brought to Argentina, or the percentage of the population that they made up, but there is accurate regional statistics. In some provinces, particularly agricultural ones, the slave population was as high as 64%. And even in Buenos Aires, at least 40% of the capital city's population were slaves in 1810. It seems reasonable to assume that at one time, Argentina's slave population was around a third of the nation's overall demographic, thus making Argentina 1/3 black. A nation doesn't just go from being 30 or 40% black to less than 0.5% black, even over a period of 200 years, by accident. What's more, it is a demographic change that didn't really occur gradually over 200 years, but rather one which happened very rapidly within the space of 15 to 20 years. According to a number of first-hand accounts, African slaves were treated much better in Argentina than they were in other European colonies like Guyana and in the Caribbean, but the same could not be said for their treatment following the abolition of slavery. Slavery was abolished in Argentina in 1853, but even more so than in other parts of the world, the lives of many Africans and Afro-Argentines in Argentina actually became even worse following abolition. Discrimination was rife, and two significant events, either deliberately or inadvertently, depending upon which version of history you choose to believe, wiped out an enormous chunk of Argentina's black and African population. Both largely coincided with the presidency of Domingo Faustino Sarmiento between 1868 and 1874, but the degree to which Sarmiento orchestrated the deaths is a topic of great debate. Between 1864 and 1870, a triple alliance made up of Argentina, Uruguay and Brazil waged a war on Paraguay that would become the bloodiest interstate conflict in the history of Latin America, although the exact number of casualties is unknown. The majority of Argentine and Brazilian troops were previously enslaved Afro-Brazilians and Afro-Argentines who also dominated the front lines, which was virtually a death sentence in such a bloody conflict. Enormous numbers of Afro-Argentines died during the war, with some having suggested that Argentina's black population were deliberately recruited and put in the most high-risk situations in the first stage of a covert genocide upon the population. The high number of male military deaths had further consequences on the next generation of Afro-Argentines, with black women in Argentina either having children with white Argentines or not having children at all. The plague among black people in Argentina came as a consequence of the repeated yellow fever outbreaks in Buenos Aires, and particularly the epidemic of 1871. At the height of the 1871 epidemic, Buenos Aires went from recording an average of fewer than 20 daily deaths to seeing more than 500 deaths in a single day. In total, the epidemic killed 8, just as it was, across much.
So, just showing you, they tried to exterminate.
With moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease,
I'm gonna go
your
to
plans
this
can
one right
change
here.
it.
It is rare for even a very deliberate and well-orchestrated genocide to be so successful, for desperate want of a better word, at wiping out a section of society. Domingos Faustino Sarmiento was certainly a racist, even by contemporary standards it could be claimed, despite his interest in Western liberalism. According to the International Business Times, Sarmiento wrote in his diary in 1848, quote, "In the United States, 4 million are black, and within 20 years, it will be 8. What is to be done with such blacks, hated by the white race? Slavery is a parasite that the vegetation of English colonization has left attached to the leafy tree of freedom." End quote. That quote seems rather chilling amidst accusations of a covert genocide. There are other reasons for the reduction in Argentina's black population, including the willful migration of a number of Afro-Argentines to neighbouring nations who they felt would be more hospitable towards them, and also the vast arrival of white Europeans over the following century that further diluted the black population. Today, 97% of Argentines identify as being white, making Argentina
Okay, so hear what it says.
diluted the black population. Today, 97% of Argentines.
So 97% of Argentines, which there's a lot of, like I said, there's Afro Argentinians there. It's just, they tried to kill them off. I think I had another video on it. So y'all go watch this. This is another good one.
And the billions dwelling in all the islands on the earth, from Africa to the Caribbean, Americas, Europe, and Asia, we have been divided for far too long. It is time to stop it. I've never seen any Argentina footballer of African descent playing in the national football team in any football clubs. I want to ask Argentina where black natives vanished to. According to the Argentina National Census,
I'm gonna skip this, but this is a good one because he talks about like the black natives. So yeah, not just the African slaves, Jake, that was coming from Africa, but the people already there as well. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So this is Ecuador. And like I said, I'm not going to touch into
If my man was wearing this, I would be all over him.
I'm not going to touch into every country, but I'm going to touch into some. So this is the Latin American part.
But like, if a guy smells...
The sound of racism. This political advert aired for 2 days on local radio stations. It's too racially offensive for us to broadcast it in full. But it describes members of this Ecuadorian black community as good-for-nothing people, cockroaches, and much more.
Yeah, so
more.
There you go. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28:37. Cockroaches, song being sung. Okay, and again, I have to say, because everyone gets it twisted and thinking that the racism that Negroes face in South Latin American countries is by the white ones. No, it's mestizos, ones claiming to be Indians, all of them. Okay, you're not gonna tell me, it's the curses that, you know what I'm saying? No, because again, the curse is that in all these countries we would be a proverb and a byword. Okay, by the nations around us. Okay, so again.
An investigation is underway to determine who was behind the advert. It has since been taken off the air. Local candidates deny any responsibility. But the damage has been done.
We want a full investigation of who's behind this degrading music.
The northwest city of Esmeraldas is the heart of Ecuador's black community. At the Quilombo slum, most haven't heard the propaganda music, but the word has spread around and everyone is furious.
I'm outraged. What they did isn't politics. It's racism.
Since blacks arrived in Ecuador from West Africa in the 16th century, they have done the hardest jobs. A government study in 2003 said that over 92% of blacks do not have access to basic services.
Yeah, and I seen somebody showed what it was. I believe because they're boycotting. I believe the strawberry in Mexico. I forgot what it was called, but again, you guys, then you want to go to the curses and act like, again, all these places, Afro Latinos are the lowest, not making nothing, still working out in the field, and they're gonna say that. Okay, even in Peru, y'all dudes talking about the people in Peru is Israel and all of this kind of stuff. The real Incas and all of them that was there were Negroes, man, and I'm gonna show that. But and now I think that I got Bolivia coming up next.
Grito Orejuela says racist slurs against Afro-Ecuadorians are common.
When you walk around, you hear, "There goes the thief, the drug addict." Not all blacks are bad. We are decent, working people.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's the stereotypes, the bywords. Yeah, all of that goes inside those curses. Okay, which, even like I'm saying, because we're talking about Latin America right now, modern day Hispanics feel that way as well. Okay, so don't tell me nothing.
Afro-Ecuadorians make up 1/10 of the population, and in this impoverished nation, they are among the poorest.
Well, Afro-Ecuadorians feel that Ecuador is a very racist. Well, Afro-Ecuadorians feel that Ecuador...
And in this impoverished nation, they are among the poorest.
Well, Afro-Ecuadorians feel that Ecuador is a very racist country, and they feel that they don't have enough opportunities for development. It is a coastal town that has been cut off from the main economic center, so people are forced to have their own small businesses, and many live on less than $2 a day.
Fishing is the main
for development.
You guys want to talk about Issachar. He is hired, talking about Mexicans, which again, the Afro-Mexicans ain't even doing, they have it worse. Okay, but yeah, $2 a day. Okay, because they wanna say that Negroes is lazy, especially and mainly talking about us in America. You know what I'm saying? We built up damn America. But yeah, going back to these Latin American countries where hard-working Afro-Latinos and they can't get no jobs because of what the color of their skin, being being hated on, racially abused. Okay, that's why they can't work. Okay, and if they do, they're still poor, still at the bottom. But these things aren't brought out. Okay, so yeah.
Coastal town that has been cut off from the main economic center, so people are forced to have their own small businesses, and many live on less than $2 a day.
Fishing is the main source of income for men, and women have small businesses in markets. The lack of investment is evident. Most of the local roads are unpaved, and when it rains, the area becomes a sea of mud. Yes, racism exists here at the national level in cities like Quito and Guayaquil. It's in the way you're addressed and the lack of employment opportunities. In its most common form, it's a veiled racism, one of arrogance and condescension. Black people in Ecuador are a minority, but ahead of Sunday's general elections, many here are seeking more than promises by politicians. They are demanding, but ahead of arrogance and condescension. Black people in Ecuador are a minority, but ahead...
And that's what it is. Yeah, we're a minority. At the bottom, not noticed. Again, like some of the stupid stuff people say, oh, I didn't know there was a black, such and such, whatever country, but I'm going to show it's a lot of people saying that about Mexico. But yeah, so but we're the minority. Okay.
Ahead of Sunday's general elections, many here are seeking more than promises by politicians. They are demanding a better way of life and respect. Mariana Sánchez, Al Jazeera, Esmeraldas, Ecuador.
When you design a ring at BlueNile.com, you can choose from hundreds of settings and thousands of diamonds in every size and shape, all at a price you won't find at a traditional jeweler. BlueNile.com. Never settle.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this into some parts. I'm gonna just deal with, as you've seen, Latin America. So I'm gonna just go into this Latin America thing, and then show some of these videos, show some of these comments, and then we'll do Africa. Then we'll do Europe. All right, so it's gonna be a couple parts.
Black people first appeared in Bolivia in the Yungas at the heart of the Amazon as slaves in the 16th century. Today, they number 35,000.
And and that's the outdated history. There was Negroes already here. Okay, and I've shown on my Instagram pictures of the old maps of Chile, Brazil, other South American countries where there was Negroes there prior. All right, so that's what the outdated history, and the same thing you guys is pushing, that Negroes only came here in the 1600s, and yet you guys can't explain that the Indians of the Thanksgiving were Negroes. You can't explain that Negroes or indigenous people were shipped to Africa. Yeah, you'll say they were shipped to Spain, but you leave out that they was classified as Negro. You don't show the version of the navigators. Okay, so you show like that. Yeah, that's what I said. Only one little image I've seen about y'all being in captivity. Okay.
In this predominantly indigenous country. But it wasn't until 2009 that they were officially recognized by a new multi-ethnic constitution. thanks to the perseverance of their representative, King Julio Pinedo. Crowned in 1997, Pinedo, a descendant of King Boniface Pinedo from the Congo, is the only recognized African monarch in the Americas.
Constitutional recognition is important and special, but we don't know how to protect or maintain that status.
Bolivian blacks have complained of mistreatment by the authorities. In Santa Cruz, the economic capital, Gonzalo Medina Torres was allegedly tortured by police on Christmas Eve. They were reacting to him squatting, but according to Torres, it was also because he's black.
I suffered torture, violence, racism. I was subjected to electrocution.
Medina Torres had to have emergency.
Everywhere we go, we're being, police brutality. Okay, so the Negro in America, Negroes in South America, Central, so on and so forth. Okay, Negroes in, because I just put it up, and a Negro in Scotland, police brutality. So, brother from Sierra Leone. We know all type throughout, France. Matter of fact, and I'll show those things when I get to that.
Surgery for abdominal bleeding. The alleged attack received attention all over Bolivia. Jorge Medina, the country's first black MP, turned it into a political issue. He's asked for the implementation of a 2010 law against racism.
We need the law to ensure this doesn't happen again. Today it's an Afro-Bolivian, tomorrow it could be a foreigner or an indigenous person. This can't happen. We live in the 21st century.
In La Paz, the Macusa Bowl Association, which defends Bolivia's blacks, says change will only occur when the black community is recognized in official statistics.
In the 2001 census, the authorities only registered one Afro-Bolivian, one Afro-descendant. So we continue our fight to be properly included in the census.
Again, like I said, didn't I say that? That's outcast. Okay, we're the Mossad is going to gather the outcast of Israel. Okay, we're not wanted. Okay, and it goes hand in hand with Zephaniah. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together, gather your together, O nation not desire. Because I got something also that goes hand in hand with that in Brazil, but I'm gonna get that later.
They may feel invisible in one sense, but black traditions permeate Bolivian culture. This is a race issue which the country can no longer ignore.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel.
Alright, so this girl, she's from Peru, and she was talking about the racism. I just wanted to get one part that she said. Y'all can watch that on your own.
There's many Afro-Peruvians who are still working on the cotton fields, picking cotton.
So she said Afro-Peruvians still on the cotton field.
There's many Afro-Peruvians who are still working on the cotton fields, picking cotton that their ancestors picked as well. And it's sad they're getting paid 14 soles a day. I don't know how much that is Canadian or US, but that's not a lot. Trust me, it's not. It's like nothing.
Okay, so they ain't getting paid nothing in Peru. Okay, the Afro-Peruvian population. Alright, so that's what matter of fact, since I went into Peru, let me go to the Peru. Then I still gotta go to Mexico, still gotta hold on. Slovakia.
Negra.
Negro.
Negra.
Negro.
Negra.
Aquí estamos.
cosa es ser afroperuano?
Invisibles.
Yo siento que soy invisible cuando le digo a alguien que existe el racismo en el Perú y no me creen.
No me llamo ni morenita.
Invisibles.
Yo siento que soy invisible cuando le digo a alguien que existe el racismo en el Perú y no me creen.
No me llamo ni morenita, ni zambita, ni morocha.
Invisibles.
Como que nos reducen a una
ni morocha.
Those are all bywords. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all of them kind of representing like being black. You know, Zambo. You know, morenita. Like yes, you know what I'm saying. So all of that is your bywords. Okay, and again, like I'm saying, you think that everyone that's talking to her is a white person? No. Okay, it's like I said, it's these so-called indigenous mestizos. You know what I'm saying? So likewise, right? So yeah.
Invisibles.
Como que nos reducen a una cosa, un pedazo de carne, ¿me entiendes?
O sea, vas a buscar trabajo y tú ves en una página de periódico que dice, no sé, alta y no sé qué, te es clara.
Y es que todo lo negro parece estar vinculado hacia lo negativo.
Invisibles.
Cuando digo yo no cocino, yo no bailo, yo no toco ningún instrumento, me dicen, ¿cómo puede ser negro? Es una negra bamba.
O hay negros que ya no quieren ser negros.
Invisibles. Alguna vez me dijeron, ¿por qué no te le hacías el pelo para que te veas más bonito? Yo me veo bonito como soy.
No hay color ni marrón ni moreno, sino negro. Punto.
Ser afro es alegría.
Diversidad.
Herencia cultural.
Familia.
Pasión. Talento. Memoria.
Historia.
Presente. Es futuro. Es vida. Es ser humano.
No somos invisibles.
No somos invisibles.
Aquí estamos.
Somos peruanos.
Somos
Afroperuanos.
Aquí estamos.
Somos orgullosamente afrodescendientes. Negro. Talento. Negro.
Alegría.
Cultura.
Aquí estamos.
Orgulloso.
Orgullosa.
Yeah, and it's like, for instance, maybe, and if that's her grandmother, which I don't know what her father is or whatever, I'm sure this is her grandmother, but that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so now she may look, like I said, she may look like a white woman. You're always talking about, carnal and going by the spirit and all of this kind of stuff. But again, just like you guys always want to use Blake Griffin, his father is a black man. So even if he has dealt with a white woman, Blake Griffin, or whoever, and his son doesn't look like he's a Negro, you could tell, but he go back to Negroes. You can clearly see that. Okay, but you're not going to tell me that most of these Hitos that you say are Israel, they go back to Negro, not even in their immediate family. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. But like her, like I said, I don't know who her father is and who else is in her family, but if that's her grandmother, like, again, at least you can see that she has some Negroes in her line.
Soy negra.
Negro.
Somos afroperuanos.
Alright, so let's go to the next one.
In the 1400s, it was the land of the Incas, and in the centuries that followed, it became home to people from all corners of the earth. From China, Japan, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, hundreds of thousands of people migrated to Peru, contributed to the formation of its rich cultural tapestry.
Okay, and the Incas. Okay, so you see the Seal of David. I did this lesson. I said the first two picks are from the Misil Inca in Peru. And as you can see, the Seal of David again predates when Esau took our symbol. Okay, and like I said, some make it seem like they were Ham, Ham or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't believe that every Indian here was Ham and all of that. So, and I've kind of shown different connections with Israel. Obviously, I'm not. Yeah, it's not these Mongoloids that. Yeah, they did mix in with Canaan and Ham, but again, some Israel came out this way, and it wasn't just when the slave trade came. Okay, so but my point showing, she said the Inca. Okay, and this is in Peru. You see, dark skin. All right. So let me just read this real quick. Okay, and this is from a book called "The Conquest of the Mongols of Mexico and Peru." All right, so it says right here, John Ellis, I'm getting to the point, who was with Sir Richard Hawkins in 1593, so this is in 1593, describes Cusco then as being without a wall and as large as Bristol. Lima, which was founded by Pizarro in 1535 under the name of Ciudad de los Reyes, is described by Ellis in 1593 as being nearly as big as London within the walls, the houses built of loam, and near 100,000 Negroes in it. So in the 1500s, there was 100,000 Negroes in it. Okay, it says even the word slave was not known in the empire of the Incas. So basically, like, yeah, it wasn't really they weren't really dealing with slavery like that. Okay, but my point is, 100,000 Negroes in the 1500s. So, but yeah, according to mainstream history, that Negroes first came over here in the 1600s. Okay, so that's predating, and then you can see John Ogilvy. This is Cusco, his map. This is part of his map. You can look it up. Everything's right there for you to see. It says, Cusco was built on the site of an ancient Inca city of the same name, okay, which was the capital of the Inca Empire. Okay, so and I got other things on. So you see Negroes. Okay, so this Inca king, you see black Negroes. Okay, so Native Americans of Peru right here. Okay, northern Peru. You can see the clear Negro features. Okay, I know y'all seen this before. Okay, portrait of Inca noblemen. Okay, so can't get around it. The Incas were Negroes. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about with this guy Job Issachar. Okay, do you know these images? Okay, this is an ancient map of Peru. Do you know these images? You talking about you want to debate me? Do you know that if you're not bringing nothing like this out, I don't have time. I don't want to hear no outdated history. I'm done with that. Okay, so if you're not bringing out no real facts, no outdated fact, even like this clown, if you're not if you are bringing outdated facts, I don't have time for this. You know what I'm saying? And just like this clown, your partner in crime, Northern Kingdom Prophets, hating on Corey Mayu, talking about he's an agent. Why? Because he's showing nothing but facts. Okay, that you guys can fathom. You can't fathom. Okay, so you can't fathom that the real indigenous people were Negroes. You claim to be part of them. You claim to be Aztec. You claim to be Mayan. Okay, but they was identified as Negroes. You see it on the walls. You see, I showed it. Mayans stone and Belize, clearly Negro features. So either you hate Negroes and you hate being black, or you know what I'm saying. What is it? Because if you got a problem and you want to say, because you're pushing white supremacy, thus you're an enemy to us. So Job Issachar, you trying to be all friendly and all that. Issachar and all of it are Northern Kingdom, but you guys are going against the truth. Okay, so you want to hate and talk about there was no Negroes here. That's what the white man pushes. Okay, so you're siding with the white man every time you lie and say that there was no Negroes here. You know what I'm saying? Just like, a white man would tell us we're 3/5 of a human. All we were swinging from trees, but yet we invented every damn thing that they use today. Okay, so, but yet, the world will have it that we didn't do anything to contribute to the world, or to society. Not even just the Israelites, but other Hamitic nations like the Egyptians and stuff like that. Okay, the Ethiopians, so on and so forth. Okay, so they would have everyone, bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? So that's y'all. Okay, trying to act like the indigenous weren't Negroes. But I already smashed that in various lessons. So like I said, you talking about you want to debate me. Yeah, you got to deal with all this stuff that's being brought out. Okay, so, and if you're going to try to flip this and say it's not what it's talking about, then you're a liar. Point blank, period. All right?
But Peru's blend of cultures is not without its complexities. Deep-set prejudices.
Because I got another one. I don't feel like going throughout my Instagram page, but basically I have some other. I might chop it, edit it, and show that part. So, but let's continue.
And socioeconomic gaps still exist along racial lines, particularly if you're black. It's estimated that a third of Latin Americans, 150 million people, are Afro-descendants. But unlike in neighboring countries, it is not known how many Peruvians have their roots in Africa. As Dan Collins reports, Peru is counting its citizens of African descent to find out exactly who they are and how they can be included.
Pounding the pavements. In Lima's back streets, pollsters are singling out African Peruvians for the first ever comprehensive survey of the population. They want to know who they are, where they live, and how they live. And the only way to get that information is by going door to door, often in some of Lima's most poor and marginalized neighborhoods. For some, there's pride in being of African descent. But many live in poverty, proportionally more than the national average. Unlike other minorities in Peru, they mostly live in urban areas. And being black often means the odds are stacked against you.
And we gotta stop too, because even, for instance, Morenos, they want to say that the term Moreno is like someone, with a little darker skin or whatever. But let's be real. Again, the word Moreno going back from the word more, more black. You know what I'm saying? So like the lady right there, they'll say like anybody is so-called Afro, and that's what they push in the media. They try to front and try to put mestizos up and try to say they're Afro and all of that.
Many have complained that they're discriminated against for being of color.
In El Carmen, the geographic heart of Peru's black population, boys dance the traditional zapateo for change. Their educational opportunities are limited compared to their peers. Of the few African Peruvian youngsters who get into university, only 2% finish their studies. And on average, more black Peruvians suffer from chronic health problems, but few seek medical attention. Facing discrimination on a daily basis, many ask, what difference will a survey make?
Diversity is related to discrimination. So we need to know how people that are related to a special ethnic identity is not having good education, good health, good economic opportunities.
Leaders in Peru's black community tell CCTV they battled racial stereotyping in every walk of life.
To be an industrial relations consultant, I've had to work 3 times as hard as anyone else in this country. We're always singled out for our skill in football or at dancing, but hardly ever.
See, and listen closer to what he says. All right, so again, yeah, like the girl said, yeah, Afro-Peruvians getting paid, you know, getting paid less, have to work harder.
To be an industrial relations consultant, I've had to work 3 times as hard as anyone else in this country. We're always singled out for our skill in football or at dancing, but hardly ever for our intellectual abilities. That's what we need to change.
Again, so likewise, like I said, because you look on, he's talking about soccer. You got Jefferson Farfan right here. He's Afro-Peruvian. Okay, so trying to see the national team because I got it on my. I'll have to show that. Okay, so yeah, you can see some. Yeah, there's Farfan. I forgot dude name. I know that's Carrillo. I forgot his name. But I have a post on it. All right, so yeah. So I wanted to show 2 things, yeah, because I had edited. But this is an article that says Peru tries to end discrimination against African Peruvians. Okay, it says Peru has been slow to tackle inequalities that left African Peruvians with limited job prospects, but that is set to change. All right, so just showing you, again, the racism that is going on with us in different countries, especially Latin America. Okay, it says, I'm gonna read some of this, but y'all can read it on your own. But it says, for many tourists visiting Peru, the hotel doorman is likely to be their first encounter with the African Peruvian. It is a job usually filled by young black men in Peru. They also often occupy roles as chauffeurs or coffin bearers. So yeah, it's like slavery type work. You know what I'm saying? For activist Jorge Ramirez, this is another example of the structural racism in Peruvian society, which means black people have extremely limited job prospects. All right, so yeah, that's what that was. And then I wanted to show this because I was showing this off my Instagram, but you'll probably have to go all the way down. But basically, I did a little post: Indigenous Aborigine peoples of Peru. Now, some could be from the African diaspora, and some could have already been there. But obviously, like we see right here, Native Americans of Peru, Negroes. Okay, this is northern Peru, 600 AD. Okay, clearly Negro features. Okay, it says modern Inca girls of Peru. Okay, and then that's what I was talking about. Some of the players. Yeah, Pedro. Okay, you from Lima. Yeah, and just see clearly Negro had, locks in his hair. Even though, yeah, he might have a little mixture or whatever, but you can see, like, because I remember, what's his name? At least his hair texture is, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like, yeah, like you see a damn white man trying to have dreads or locks. You know what I'm saying? So, um, as I said, Carrillo and Farfan. kind of just showing y'all. All right, so yeah, this is Andre Carrillo, Jefferson Farfan. All right, so yeah, Andre Carrillo. All right. Jefferson Farfan. So, so this, yeah, Jake in Peru. All right, so just wanted to show y'all. So likewise in America, where Negroes is only mentioned the Negro because he played basketball. You know what I'm saying? Entertainment, that's it. But when it comes down to us creating all type of sciences and all type of electronics and airplanes and all type cars, all these things that people use today. Now all of a sudden, oh, y'all didn't do that. Oh, y'all, you know what I'm saying? They just want to keep us strictly, okay, you're good in sports. That's it. Okay, so that's happening in North America. It's happening here. It's happening in South America. You know what I'm saying? Most likely, that's all. Yeah, you all just good in sports. You know what I'm saying? And don't respect you at any other thing. You know.
It was time to stand up and be counted, they tell me.
La excusa del Estado es que no. The state needs to know how many we are so we can create public policies.
Without that data, they'll continue to be an invisible minority, says Cecilia. The next national census is in 2017. That's too long to wait.
Lo que queremos para ellos es igualdad de oportunidades. What we want for our children is equal opportunities, better living conditions, but most of all, that the state can guarantee a better education for our sons and daughters, because it's the only way to break down the barriers we face.
Las cuales enfrentamos. They're here in Chincha, 200 kilometers south of Lima, and one of the historic centers for Peru's African-descended population. It's a place where the legacy of slavery is still in evidence. Just as in North America's South, huge estates once relied on slave labor to pick cotton. The grand Hacienda San Jose, now an upmarket hotel, was one of them. But beneath the shady courtyards and elegant portraits of the Spanish overlords lies a darker secret. The labyrinth of tunnels underneath the Hacienda San Jose led to dozens of different rooms. This room in particular was where slaves were punished. They'd be kept in here for 2 days without food or water and in total darkness. But there were far worse punishments than this. Attempting to escape was the worst infraction a slave could commit. The slave, having been flogged at the whipping post in front of the grand house, would be brought in here, where his wrists or his feet would be inserted in 21 of these different sized iron rings. Be forced to stand in an extremely uncomfortable position, often with his arms chained to this railing. And the result, after 2 days being held in this room, was almost always death. But tonight, the descendants of those African slaves celebrate. Yunza Negra is a yearly tradition. Yunza is the tree which gets chopped down over the course of the night. The rhythms of música negra are as much a part of Peruvian culture as the panpipes of Andean music. Ramon Castilla, a soldier who became president, freed the African slaves in 1854. Peruvian culture is infused with that African influence, but there's never been a civil rights movement in Peru. One of the largest religious processions in the world was inspired by the artistry of a 17th century Angolan slave. His portrait of a black Christ inspires tens of thousands of devotees in the yearly Lord of the Miracles March. African Peruvians have taken 10 lines of the poetic form known here as decima and made it their own. Its rhyme and meter were exemplified by the poet Archimedes Santa Cruz, and 20 years after his death, still has many followers. The African influence is evident all over Peru, particularly in poetry, music, dance, and Peru's vibrant and much feted gastronomy.
No somos invisibles.
Thanks to a government-backed campaign, black Peruvians are starting to feel more visible and more positive about the future.
Va a haber un antes y después. Tener esas cifras que el Estado.
There will be a before and after with these statistics. It will be a big advance. Now there's an office for the Afro population. This will be a landmark, and I believe this will be a rewarding year for all of
Se haya
us.
creado también esa dirección de políticas para la población afrodescendiente. También ha sido un hito.
In 2009, Peru was the first Latin American country to publicly apologize to its black citizens for centuries of abuse, exclusion, and discrimination.
So, century of abuse.
It didn't specifically mention slavery, but acknowledged that race still hindered the social and professional development of many African Peruvians. Now, with the statistics to prove it, it's time for Peru to make good on that apology.
Alright, so it's just just kind of showing y'all. Let me see, hold on.
American residents of the remote Hispanic.
Alright, save that. Save that. Okay, so this is only part one. Like I said, this is going into the Latin America and American part, which I'm gonna deal with Brazil now. And I'm gonna deal with Mexico, and then I got some stuff on just a few things, just a couple of things on America, and then to the next one.
Hey, have you seen these new rings? They're made of silicone, and they're called groove rings. So, metal rings...
This is the colonial city of Bahia, known as the Black Capital of Brazil, the place where millions of African slaves were first brought to South America. Brazilians love to show off their Afro-Brazilian culture with the capoeira and the famous Baianas, a country that's long boasted of being a nation living in mixed-race harmony. But while Brazil may look colorblind, people know that's an illusion.
Oi, que eu passei mau constrangimento, trabalho aqui com captação.
I sell health insurance policies for a company that's on the 9th floor of that building. But when I went to take a white client upstairs, the building administrator said, "No, you have to take the stairs. You cannot ride the elevator."
Many would have done nothing, but Silva reported the incident to the Justice Ministry's Office Against Discrimination.
Eles negaram.
And you think they did that to, like I said, obviously they didn't do it to a so-called white Brazilian. But, yeah, these, like I said, mestizos, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. So that it was to Negroes. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of people aren't getting, oppressed like we are, Negroes. And there's stuff out there where they say that certain Asians that live in certain South American countries are racially abused or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But does that mean they Israel? You know what I'm saying? I mean, probably this some people like camps like GMS. But the point is, it's not happening on the four corners of the earth, which this is what this lesson is about.
Here we have always denied the existence of racial discrimination. We confuse racial coexistence with racial equality.
Blacks and browns, or pardos as they're called here, make up nearly half the population of this country. In fact, Brazil has the largest black population in the Western Hemisphere, but you'd never know it by looking at who holds positions of power. That, says this Bahia state congressman, is what proves that Brazil is not a racial democracy.
Da nossa população de origem afrodescendentes, negros.
We make up 84% of the population of Bahia, but never in our history have we had one black governor.
Where blacks are overrepresented is in the slums, like Morro do Morel in Rio de Janeiro, where we met Monica Santos, a community leader who's studying social sciences at university. Monica is one of the beneficiaries of a controversial new quota system to guarantee university access to blacks, who currently make up only 2.2% of the student population.
I thought it would be rose-colored, but the resistance and racism of many professors here is fierce. They say that if you come from the ghettos, you're not fit to study certain subjects like philosophy, for example, because people like us have an intellectual deficit.
Ou essas pessoas têm déficit, entendeu?
120 years after Brazil abolished slavery, one thing is changing: the awareness that this is, after all, a color-coded country. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Bahia, Brazil.
Okay. So again, told you, yeah, under those curses, every like I said, South America. Alright, so let me show the other one in Brazil. Which, matter of fact, because I was in Bolivia,
Okay, and now I gotta add the bell peppers and the onions.
yeah, so, and you can see, yeah, they doing the monkey noises. So, yeah, again, calling us apes, all of that is a byword. You know what I'm saying? So, I just show Robinho right there. My thing is, I never, I just because like I said, I'm an avid soccer, we call it football fan, and I didn't play it all my life. I done had racist abuse by Edomites and so-called Hispanics, which are either Japhet, Esau, in between. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like I had that done to me. All right, and
is this one of those ads that makes you want a Reese's? Yes, it is. Thank you for asking.
Because since we're still on the topic of Latin America, so I just wanted to go to the certain things of the racism.
¿Qué pasó?
So another Brazilian
los gritos de la tribuna.
Sí, el público se la tiene agarrada contra. And stupid, like I said, dumb GMS clown. I believe he was with GMS trying to say that this guy, even though like I've shown who the real indigenous were, but he's trying to equate this guy with being indigenous. He's not the same as the modern day or so-called people you trying to make as the people in the Amazon. Because I showed the real people of Brazil and how those natives were sent to places like Angola. Okay, so yeah, Angola, where are Hispanics at in Angola? Okay, I showed that in the lesson about the 12 tribes chart. Okay, or Judah not being the only one scattered. Okay, but in Bolivia. Okay, so again, the two videos I'm about to show, you're not gonna see white people. Okay, so this is my point. Okay, so wherever we go, you know what I'm saying? Wherever we go, we're oppressed racially. Okay, so again, and it's like if these people claim to be our people, it's like it's not even in your spirit to to just start. Oh, let me do a monkey chant, or let me throw bananas on the field. You know what I'm saying? That like acting like Esau. Like how's that in your spirit? How are you gonna say we're the same people, and the people on the pitch that look different, that you claim those are your people, you throwing bananas and all type of stuff on the field. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys, man.
Serginho siente que está afectado. El gesto de variante, ¿tiene variante disponible instrumento? No, ya no.
Podemos mirar en la tele, ¿no? Desde cuando entré en los calentamientos ya empezaron los insultos de este tipo de discriminación, de color de piel, todo. Y durante todos los partidos, al momento que yo agarraba la pelota, se podía escuchar con alto y buen sonido que los sonidos de imitando un macaco, un gorila, a cada momento que yo agarraba en la pelota.
So again, you see this guy, right? Like, you know, that was who was in the stands making monkey chants and monkey noises in Bolivia. All right.
Entonces, yo tengo familia, yo tengo hijos, mi familia estaba toda mirando en la tele. Yo, aparte de que nosotros soportamos algunas cosas, ¿no? Yo soporté desde donde me aguantó soportar. Después de un momento que eso no es para fútbol, todos somos iguales, ¿no? Yo no soy diferente por mi color de piel, por ser brasileño. Dios ha hecho solamente una raza, ¿no? La raza humana.
All right, so that's another one.
If 3/4 of your drink is a mixer, then make sure.
I'll say to Ronaldinho when I go into the Mexico.
Olha, esse jogo teve fatos lamentáveis, expressões racistas de torcedores peruanos contra o meio-campo Tinga.
Parece que tem uns gritos estranhos aí quando o Tinga pega na bola.
Peruanos contra o meio-campo Tinga. Lamentáveis, expressões racistas de torcedores peruanos contra o meio-campo Tinga.
I thought it was in Bolivia also, but it was in Peru.
Tem uns gritos estranhos aí quando...
Okay, matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Where is it at?
As the men played, he and 3 others were...
Okay. Alright, so this is the guy that was attacked. Monkey chants for Brazilian footballer. All right, Tinga, yeah, by Peruvian fans during the Libertadores match. Okay, so all right, so this is what we watching. All right, now let me put it clear. So, do you see any white people in here? Do you see any white people? These looking like mongoloids. These are what the people say are Israelites. Okay, you look. These are what because they don't. Because it seems like they have to look like a white person for somebody to recognize somebody being a $5 Indian. But these are looking Asian, mongoloid, mestizo, mixed Spaniard with Mongols. Okay, these are who's making monkey chants, not the so-called white man. All right, so to make it plain, so these are Israelites, and you're gonna say monkey chants as part of the curses? All right. So I can't take you guys serious. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like this clown Job Issachar, you want to debate me? You want to debate me? And what are you gonna say about this? All right.
Quando o Tinga pega na bola, na Europa a gente teve algumas manifestações.
Again, you're not really gonna find that where a bunch of Negroes is, maybe in America something. And again, Negroes is tired of T.O.Z being racist towards us. So sometimes you might see Negroes doing stuff to Latinos, but it's a defense mechanism. All right, you can't get around that.
De racismo, né? É uma reação muito estranha, lamentável até, o ruído como se imitassem macacos. As coisas mais idiotas, mais ridículas que a torcida pode fazer, isso é um absurdo e acho que é passível de punição e tem que ser punido exemplarmente pela Conmebol esse tipo de manifestação. Como é que você recebeu essa reação da torcida local?
Pô, cara, a gente fica muito chateado, né? A gente tenta esquecer ali dentro.
A federação...
I can't, obviously I can't translate, but as I showed right here, this is, as you see the person, Tinga, this who this is, and you seeing them doing monkey chants. So, and obviously you see what it's saying. All right, so I don't know Portuguese, so I think one of them might have English.
Ele recebe a devolução do Ceará e os insultos continuam. Aqui ele está pedindo a bola no meio sozinho. É impossível de não se qualificar como um insulto racista, tá?
Alright, so yeah. Alright, so racism in Peru. Okay, so again, and I showed y'all the people that was doing it, so you're not gonna act like, oh yeah, this is a white man that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, alright. So let's move on. Is it time for the Mexican? Nah, we still got, Elias. It said it was called Monkey, but forgot if that was the one. So let's further show.
Hey, have you seen these new rings? They're made of silicone, and they're called groove rings. So metal rings have been around since creation. They represent commitment. But dang, they're dangerous. Just ask Jimmy Fallon.
My ring pulled my finger out.
Besides being potentially dangerous, metal rings...
O brasileiro, ele gosta daquela coisa mais sexuada, daquela mulata que aceita tudo e só serve para sambar.
preconceito com mulher aqui no Brasil é muito grande. Mas com a mulher negra é maior ainda.
There's a small circle that you're supposed to be in when you're black. If you try to move out of that, you run into restrictions.
Meu nome é Nayara Justino. Sou modelo, dançarina e atriz. Esse ano vou estrear meu primeiro papel na novela Escrava Mãe. É a nossa história, né? Então você está sentindo que nós todos passados passaram.